All right, today we are talking about our Cyclops charger. This joker started acting a little funny. So if you see down there, this fuse, pretty much cooked. So it's been going out over a couple of months, and then I just do small repairs, replace the fuse, and then throw it back in there. I did end up buying some replacement parts, which I have them in a bag here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the replacement, and we'll walk you through it and just see how easy this is to navigate. All right, here we go. We took this thing off, pretty easy mounts. Just here, we got a couple screws that it just goes onto. I'll show you the box in a little bit. But right now, we're just gonna go ahead and unscrew this. And then I just went onto Cyclops' website and then just went to replacement parts. The cool thing is they do have replacement parts, and it seems pretty simple. So I've got the replacement parts here, and then we'll just kind of see how these connectors go in. Just pop it open. This is disconnected, by the way. So we are in the body of this, which is really nice that there's almost no dust that has got in here. It is really stinking clean. So that is very helpful. But the one that I need to replace is under here. And there's a little circuit board right here. So I'm just gonna pop that thing off. We should probably disconnect. I think that capacitor probably still has some charge to it. Better be safe than sorry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and probably should discharge that. Wish me luck. And all I'm doing is touching all of that on the capacitor to ensure that if there's any charge there, it's going away. And I'm going to go ahead and take off these little spade terminals. I'm going to try to be... I don't think I need to, actually. Let's just try it without doing that. And I'm hopeful that you can actually see what I'm doing here. That's through. These are a little shorter. What I did bring to the table was some dielectric grease to prevent that moisture from getting in there in the future. I'm just going to pull it up some. Okay. This is the baggie that those spare fuses come in. We've used all those. It's got a simple little nut down there that's holding it. Let's see if we can get those in here. Just pop that off. Pop off these. Just be careful with them because you don't want to break anything here. It's just nice little consistent pressure and wiggle side to side. And usually they just come right off. Alright, so we got that disconnected. Let's see if I can show you this here. So as you can see right there, this is the assembly we're going to change. Go ahead and start popping that stuff off. See if I can get a close up on this. See that? Just unscrew the back side of that. I'm just curious if it'll fit all the way over. And we'll just feed this all the way out. That's the back side of the nut of that fuse assembly. And then we will just feed it out. Again, you don't want to force anything at all. This has got some heat shrink on it. I was not expecting that, so we can just replace some heat shrink on there. Oh yeah, and if you don't know, like, always a good idea to take a picture of where all these things go. pretty sure I did not take a picture, so thank goodness I got a video. This one, you can sometimes do it off of wire memory. So if you imagined this one going in there, wire memory is this. When you let it go, where does it naturally fall? Same with this one, right? Like this was off the back and it was shooting like this. So you could definitely tell this was to the back one, this was to this one. I remember that. And this one's to the front. This one looks good. Good shape. I'm gonna go take the new fitting and go find a wire terminal that matches, and we will try to figure out how to get it on there. So I just grabbed some, I just have general repair stuff all the time, because you kind of have to. And I just so happen to have the red connector that is the perfect size for this pin. What's crazy is you could see this right here, how loose that is. I'm gonna do a little bit of pinching to get it on there a little tighter, but that is a testament to the quality of parts that Cyclops uses, because their fit is super tight. So I've got a ton of these, but I'm gonna try to get this one to get crimped on there. And then I've got some nice little dual walled, it's adhesive lines, so hopefully this does perform similarly to what was on there before. I don't know what the shrinkage rate is, but 4 to 1. So we might get it to be almost similar to what was on there. Yep, we're gonna just go ahead and give it a shot. We're gonna try with this one. But before we do that, you're gonna get this nice and clean. I did have to strip it back just a tad because it was kind of tore up. What I'm gonna do is put some dielectric grease and make sure that it is trying to prevent as much corrosion as possible. Corrosion is the enemy. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this little fitting on there. And a nice rule of thumb is like twisting. I like to twist it because if there's any of the little hairs that are wire threads that are out, they'll get twisted in there. So do some pre-twist and then get it on there, get it twisted up. And I don't have my crimper. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. I got my crimpers. This is insulated, so use the insulated only tab there. Just put it on there. Get a nice little crimp in. Make sure it's nice and snug on there. That feels good. Do an additional crimp. Just a little bit further back. Make sure it's very good. And then what I'm going to do here is also just tighten up the grip on these. I'm going to do that by just kind of squeezing down. And you'll see those ears, they kind of squeeze in a little bit. That'll give it a little bit better grip on this here arm. So I'm going to get some dielectric grease on there. Never have too much dielectric grease. Just a tad. Don't forget about this. This is important. Put that like that. I'm gonna get this gripped on there like this. As you can tell, very much tighter fit now that I squeezed it on there. So now we're in a position to start doing the little things piping. You do have a very hot torch, just keep it further away. Make sure you're not facing where the lid is. And just be patient with it. Sometimes just put the heat next to it. And that's good enough. Give it a little bit of breaks, let it rest. Don't rush this process. Last thing you want to do is have it rip, whereas you got it too hot. Don't do that. But we should be in good shape. All right, golden. So we're going to go ahead and, before we put that in, we need to get our seal around this. This is the gasket that basically is going to ensure the moisture doesn't come through. All right, so flat side is what you want towards the wall, so you're going to speed it over. Don't mess the sequence up. You're going to be annoyed if you do. And then you just take it, when you thread it on there, and get it nice and snug. It is plastic. Don't over tighten it. All right, let's mock it up and see where the holes were. Okay, so this is where the mounting holes were. On this gap, the side there, boom. Looks like we are golden, golden, golden. Throw a couple of these screws in. We're going to be back in action real stinking fast. Set them in place. Get your screw started. Do not snug it down yet. Snugged. Make sure you're both in there first. Everything feels good. Snug enough. I'll finish it off by hand just to make sure that you're not overdoing it. There we are. That's the tag for the fuses. So now that we have that in place, once again, I'm going to load this thing up with a little bit of dielectric grease. And I'm going to drop it in to the tube hole. So right there. Boop. And then I'm going to take this side here. This has got the ears. And those ears are what we're getting corroded on the other one. And then you just find those ears, push in, and then you just do, I think it's like a half turn. That's it. Just get it nice and stuck in there. Yep, push it in. You'll feel it kind of have some pressure. There's a spring in it. Push it in, do a spin. It'll pop back out, and then you're gold. So now we are back in action. Got all these screws that I got to get back in. It's only 4. Where's your ore? Not a big deal. And of course, I accidentally messed this up. Try not to disrupt much else. Got all our screws there. Let's go ahead and route this cable out where it is supposed to be routed out of. Let's just very carefully drop this back in place. And there's little marks on the cable. Good idea just to kind of match them to where they were. And since this is out already, I'm just going to pop off this one. And I'm going to keep this fuse. They have them on each side. I don't know if there's a difference. I'm going to check. And that's it. We're going to go reinstall, and we are going to turn this thing on, and I'll show you what it was doing, the symptoms that it was doing. So if yours is having those symptoms, you can check it out, and you'll kind of know where to look first. All right, as you can see, this is my little setup here. It could probably use some better routing. That's my red light to tell me the power is on. That timer used to work and then it stopped working, so I had to move the timer. But there's just a couple little mouse screws that I have set up. It's just like a slight cover. And then we will just slide this thing on there. And these arms swing, so it's a little adjustable. So that's pretty much it. Here's my hot line coming into my fence there. All my jumpers. And that plugs right into there. And then I've got my other line that needs to route into that ground. And for the ground, you're not going to like this, but I have a T-post driven in, probably 4.5 feet or so. And then I've got another ground down there. They're connected. And I could probably add another ground. It does stay hot though. The fence stays at 8,000 and that is pretty stinking hot. So here we go. All right, we're back again. I'm gonna show you these. These are the little connectors that I have. They're dual connectors. So we're just gonna go ahead and get that screwed on there. Let's look at where I'm gonna do that work. This is where this comes in. I'm just gonna get it wrapped around. Not a ton. Do some wrapping. So it's right there. Really all I'm trying to do is make sure that it is not gonna come loose and it's not just dependent on some wire tie. Got a couple pliers here. Yeah, I'm not gonna overdo it. This is aluminum. I think they're aluminum. Ask me where I get them if you're interested. I cannot remember where I get them. And then this is just like a lock nut there. Get them nice and tight. And that's a really good one. I was gonna put 2 on there, but I don't think I need to put the second one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it kicked on here. I'll show you what it was doing. And our guest miner today, but high level, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take out this fuse that we had. Nice and glued up. I'm gonna plug this in, and this is what you would be experiencing. Hear the noise? And no light. Nothing's happening. Fence is dead. Alright, so I'm gonna unplug it. No longer ticking. Drop this in there. It is kind of tight. That new spring is kind of tight. So just make sure that you're getting it in there all the way. See, there it is. Yeah, that's got some push to it. So, all right, we're back in action. It is good. I'm gonna plug it in and you'll hear the difference. You're actually just seeing it. So that's really nice. That's what you should be seeing. And we are set up. And that's it for today's task. There's always something to do. But what I would recommend, get yourself some good tools, make yourself a nice little bin for all sorts of random repair stuff. Be forward thinking so you're not sitting there waiting with a downed fence, because you know having that down fence puts your animals at risk, puts your dogs at risk for getting out. You don't want to do that. So let's stay tight and do it right. I'm still trying to figure that out. Done a lot of mistakes, but these are golden. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.